I decided to challenge myself and try living on just $50 for an entire week. That's food, transportation, everything. No tricks, no pantry raids, no cheating, just me, 50 bucks, and 7 days to figure it out. I knew it wouldn't be comfortable, but I wanted to see what it really felt like to stretch every dollar, to make every decision count. Spoiler alert, it got rough fast. Before the week started, I sat down and planned everything out. I needed to make sure I didn't end up broke halfway through. So I broke the budget down. $50 over 7 days is a little over $7 a day. It sounds doable until you realize how fast money disappears when you're not paying attention. So my first step was groceries. I figured I needed to get that out of the way and lock in a meal plan before I started getting hungry and impulsive. I went to a discount grocery store with a calculator in hand and a list. Rice, oats, pasta, canned beans, eggs, frozen veggies, peanut butter, and bread. The cheapest essentials I could find. I skipped meat completely. It was just too expensive. I stood in that aisle staring at a pack of chicken thighs, debating it like I was making a life decision. But I couldn't justify spending over a fifth of my budget on one item. In the end, I left the store with a bag full of ingredients that cost me $31.68. That left me with $18.32 for everything else. Not much room for anything fancy. The first couple of days were fine. I cooked in bulk, big batches of rice and beans, oatmeal every morning, peanut butter sandwiches when I needed a snack. I kept reminding myself that this was temporary, that I wasn't going to live like this forever. But even then, by the end of day 2, I was already tired of what I was eating. It's not just about being full, it's about food giving you some kind of joy. I started missing flavor. I missed variety. I even missed just casually grabbing a snack without thinking twice. One of the hardest things I didn't expect? The mental exhaustion. Every little decision felt heavier. I didn't realize how often I'd buy a coffee or grab a drink without thinking. Now I was hyper aware of every dollar. I even avoided social situations because I didn't want to explain why I couldn't grab lunch or split a bill. There's something quietly isolating about not having spending flexibility, not even for small things. Just walking around and seeing people buying stuff like it's no big deal, it started to mess with me a little. By day 3, I was already rationing. I had counted how many slices of bread were left, how much peanut butter I was using. I watered down soup to make it last longer. It made me appreciate how much we waste when we don't have to be this careful. I didn't throw away a single scrap of food that week. Even the ends of the bread, the ones I usually skip, I ate those too. I saved the pasta water to cook rice. I reused tea bags. It was survival mode, and honestly, it gave me a strange sense of pride. But the physical side effects started to kick in around day 4. I was tired. Not just I need a nap tired. I was foggy, low energy, distracted. My body felt slow. I wasn't getting enough protein, not enough calories in general, and the funny thing is, I was eating. I wasn't starving, but the quality of the food mattered. I was filling my stomach, but not fueling my body. It made me think a lot about how people judge low-income diets. It's not laziness, it's math. When you've only got a couple of bucks, you're not buying kale and chia seeds. You're buying carbs to stay full. Transportation was the next challenge. I don't drive every day, so I tried walking as much as possible, but I still needed to take the bus twice that week for work. That was $5 total, leaving me with just over $13 by day 5. I remember standing at a gas station, craving something salty, and knowing I had $13 to get me through the next 3 days. I walked away with a $1 bag of chips, feeling both satisfied and guilty. It's wild how quickly food becomes emotional when you're on a budget like that. By day 6, I was counting down the hours. I had about $6 left. I made it to the store and bought a few bananas, a can of soup, and the cheapest instant coffee I could find. That coffee tasted like regret, but it gave me the tiniest boost. The bananas felt like a luxury after days of processed carbs. That night, I sat down with my bowl of watery soup and realized I was both proud and uncomfortable. Proud that I made it. Uncomfortable with how easy it is to romanticize being frugal when you know it's temporary, because the truth is, for millions of people, this isn't a challenge. It's just life. And not for a week, but for months, years. I kept thinking about how exhausting it would be to live like that long term. Every dollar matters. Every choice is a risk. One wrong move and you don't eat. There's no room for emergencies, no room for health, just survival. By the last day, I had less than $1. I made a final meal with the last of my rice, the frozen veggies, and a bit of oil. It wasn't good, but it filled the space. That's all I was aiming for by the end, just to feel full enough to keep going. After the week was over, I went back to my normal spending, but something had shifted. I looked at price tags differently. I appreciated my fridge in a new way. I realized how much privilege is baked into convenience. I also realized how broken the system is. Eating well shouldn't be a luxury. Feeling healthy and energized shouldn't depend on your paycheck. So yeah, I lived on $50 for a week. I made it work. But the biggest thing I walked away with wasn't about saving money. It was about understanding just a fraction of what it feels like to live on the edge of not having enough. And honestly, that lesson stuck with me more than any dollar I saved.